for their... Okay, what's knocking? It's their gold... No, it's their mid.
Yeah.
It's their mid lane.
I still agree. I think they need burst, right? They already have really good setups coming in from the Guinevere and the Atlas. Technically, they could rely on the Harith in the later stage of the game to, you know, dish out that burst damage, but...
Yeah, there go.
Yeah, so they still go for the Lilia. They want to be able to rotate quicker in the early game, and I feel like the Lilia plus the Atlas is going to be a potential problem for the Minotaur and the Valentina.
It's interesting though, like Ashley on the Minotaur in their debut game, right? Like what could have been the idea behind this? Because yes, there's sustain. I guess that's one more additional layer to it. Like you have clutch sustain, but also AoE, but you're both fighting with massive setup heroes.
Well, here it is. The heroes are picked. The ladies are committed. It's Gen.G Esports versus FUT Esports for our final series of the day. The winner moves forward that much closer to going to the knockout bracket. The loser forced to fight and protect their key till the end. Athena, Gideon, take it away.
Thank you so much, Reflections, here at the desk. We're already moving on to our very last series of the day, and it's one that everyone from across the world is putting their eyes upon because this is Gen.G versus FUT Esports. It's going to be tight here, Athena. I don't know about you. We were talking about the draft earlier, but I want you to expand your mind here. What do you think about the overall comp?
To be honest, here for FUT Esports, I think they got baited.
They got baited?
Yeah. Especially on the getting the Lilia, it was part of the plan because for Gen.G, because of this Valentina pick, overall they controlled what they wanted to see or what options were left for FUT Esports. And we've mentioned the Eve, but it does in fact make sense that if they pick up the Eve, it will be more painful on their side. It could backfire, right? It's a double-edged sword here for FUT Esports. But now, looking at the mid lane prio as well here for Gen.G Esports, things are quite looking good as well as the rotation.
Yeah, and they managed to get a quick steal off of that. That's going to slow Ruyi down, and that's the first buff that she was not able to take. So again, the next couple of camps here aren't going to be as much gold as she would like, but at the same time, there's still the orange buff at the end of the day.
Yep, and we've seen that in the first match where even though someone stole us buff, we would still be able to level 4 before the first neutral objective. Very close call there, though, onto Panda 1 on the bottom side.
Both sides are a little nervous. They don't have Flicker. They're both using Purify, so positional mistakes can be very heavily punished. There's no get-out-of-jail card for free. But then let's look at the top side, because Unohana having a really tough time into Arya, especially on this Esmeralda. No, gets the knock up and immediately. This might just be first blood here, but doesn't seem like they find it yet.
Wait, that is early commitment here for FUT Esports. They are willing to take the first blood. Kujo immediately for the respo. Now they transition onto getting a neutral objective.
Hey, but Kujo finding that first blood is exactly what this team wants. Again, get that snowball onto Guinevere. Nail yourself. Wait a minute. This could be dangerous. Right now, Sayori has an opportunity to turn this fight around, but they don't have enough damage because they don't have enough people around the area. They call this up, but look at bot side. Hardly being shoved. They already have that rotation in.
I think for Gen.G Esports, they were also waiting for Ashley to get her ultimate. Wasn't enough of the change crowd control. You know, for FUT Esports, that is a very huge commitment onto that. Even the Salmon Force was activated here for Miko. Rui will spot on Zendaya. Black Shoes already activated. That is a big oopsie moment. But wait a minute, what's happening? They're disengaging.
They allowed it to happen. They're like, you know what? We're feeling a little generous to you. You know, your name's Zendaya. I gotta make sure sending the big superstars back to their base and just know there's not gonna be a second time.
Yep, definitely generous game so far. Salmon Force yet again here for Miko. Not really that greedy yet here for FUT Esports. I do like the fact that they're really being careful because Gen.G Esports from last year, we're kind of a persona more on counter punish. So for FUT Esports, they're limiting mistakes. They're limiting movements that could get them punished here from Gen.G Esports.
And that's my favorite thing. I love seeing professional teams just understand what the playbook is meant to be, right? A simple foundation that kind of links every single movement into the game to give it purpose. And right now, if we're talking about purpose, Gen.G, I think they're waiting for a mistake coming in from FUT on the next neutral objective because we're seeing that Arya, she has full control over this top side, right? Already a quarter EXP more than Unohana, even using the ult because she knows it's on a short cooldown to get back to the wave and lose 0 EXP.
And for her, it's a good thing actually. Arya is considered one of the greatest anchors for Gen.G Esports. She's also one of the leaders that led them onto the grand finals run last year against Team Vitality. So it's safe to say that Arya is the one that we should also look out for later on. And now, on the expanding Rivers map, she would definitely be present once they try and contest the neutral objective from the hands of FUT.
Let's see how this is going to play out, because right now FUT have first motion, right? They have the... Oh, wait. They've already opened it up. Golden reveals exactly what they want.
All eyes on Arya, as I mentioned. And now Ashley is forced to react. There's going to be a Immune Fury. 2 members knocked up here for FUT Esports. Zendaya falling down as well. Good job. Goes able to jump. Arya has been removed to entirely here onto her clashes. Rui still alive and kicking. Dashing through the walls of their neutral objective hasn't been touched yet. But now they're following through to the chase here onto Nora and Miko. They won't succeed onto taking them down. It looks like Gen.G has a very great punish there on the FUT Esports.
And they're good for it. A lot of battle spells had to be used here, unfortunately. Even Rui losing out on her retribution. It's going to be a bit of a hard take here. They need a reset. If not, there's an opportunity for Kujo to steal this again. And look at Gen.G instantly. Reset. Let's move towards that mid lane and then re-engage when we have our cooldowns back up.
That is exactly what you want. Observe first before you take action. And now we're observing Arya getting on to the front lines here for FUT Esports. Rui has her retry ready. Now they disengage or slowly disengage. They engage the situation. Objective first before a takedown. Sayori and Arya being careful as well, even though they have multiple escapes. And Gen.G Esports is on a new level of discipline here against FUT.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Gen.G, they know the conditions that they're looking to play for. And honestly, it might bite them later in the game as Panda breaks the tier 1. They should be okay. And there you go, the Minoan Fury to disengage.
Okay, that's also a savior for Ashley. They're trying to prevent their gold laner being taken down this early. Unohana, they're for a pursuit. But Sayori on their hand, copied. Going on the dark way. Wait, stop that.
Hey.
Okay, disengage.
That's it. They just have to breathe. And while all this is happening, at least they're not missing out on important EXP as well as gold. Rui covering not only mid, but goes straight to the top side, knowing, hey, Panda's going to be a little late there. You might as well take that wave and wait for the next one.
Yep.
Panda will eventually scale, so it's no big deal.
They're making sure that any time they will be ready. So there isn't any idle farming moment for Rui, as you mentioned, and that will greatly benefit Panda 1 as well. As long as she isn't alone being the core damage leader, and all is good for Gen.G Esports. FUT Esports on the other hand, I do like the fact that among all the games that I've casted, this is one of the most balanced yet. 6 minutes into the game, there's not a single team that's really dominant, not really one-sided at all. We see FUT Esports still trying to gauge a situation before they act on it.
I feel like, again, both sides are being very respectful of each other, right? We haven't seen them really force too hard in a lot of these scenarios, and I think that at least for Gen.G's side, it's very clear what they're trying to do. But FUT, on the other hand, I think it's a lot harder to determine what the play should be. As the dive commences, Unohana is in trouble.
Okay, even though the Immune Fury will miss out, Arya would follow up. Oh, Falling Star Moon will miss out. But most of the members of FUT Esports are ready to rumble. Okay, Frigid Bread already activated. But now they slowly back away. That's the strength of Gen.G Esports. They know when to stop. That's a huge discipline right here. The objective, leave it be. They just want things to be chill. They're just waiting for the perfect moment. If ever anyone overstays their welcome, they go for the punish. Nora as well with Frigid Bread. Arya is stoking up a lot of shields here on the FUT Esports. Sayori with the last hit. Miko on your hand, focusing on getting the turrets. But they're getting the numbers rolling here for Gen.G Esports. 2 members down for a turret in exchange. I think for Gen.G Esports, that is more fruitful.
That's 2 members down, and they're looking for a third. The Black Shoes comes out just in time, but Zendaya, no way, hold this time. Arya takes him out, and now what used to be just 2 has turned into 3. Don't turn it into 4. Mako is going to try and play this out, but doesn't have vision. Gets flickered on and tries to get out.
Okay. She will successfully back up, but Ashley on the other hand, I think that was so much of a overstaying on their part.
It was a scramble.
Yeah. But still.
They still managed to make it work.
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, Cujo is still deathless. 2-0-0, now completing the Genius Wand. Zendaya, again, it's very difficult for her to maintain that position, especially when Flicker is on cooldown. But with all of these big cooldowns already down. And I would like to say the same for Gen.G, but really, I think Arya is really fine with it. Even if she doesn't have to use her Purify and dies for it, the rest of the team is capable of cleaning up the mess.
She's willing. Actually, she's willing to sacrifice her time as long as other lanes remain untouched, right? And that's the thing. She's keeping Miko at bay just so Sayori and other members of Gen.G Esports could just have the time of their life, not really realizing that it greatly benefits Gen.G Esports. Without the Harriet, the damage output just isn't enough for immediate takedown here for FUT Esports, and Arya knows that as well. Now they target even under the tower. They go in, Nora even with the fatal lace will go down. Unohara as well. Double kill here for Panda 1 under the turret. It's kind of a bit of greedy, but Rui will take that kill as well. Double kill. Will she make it a triple kill? No, sir. No can do. Miko slowly backs away. That's 4 members down here for FUT Esports.
Calculated, controlled, and most importantly, Rui playing a hot game. Good iframe dodge at the end of it. There should be a Lord take, an instant conversion for the side of Gen.G. And finally, we see a tangible lead, right? Before this, this 5K was like, okay, sure, it started off pretty slow. They had a bit of a 4K lead, but now underneath the turret, utilizing the third item power spike to make sure that they can ram right through. And that's what Rui was looking for. Give me that third item, I guarantee you somebody's gonna go down.
And definitely, we've seen it close on action here for Gen.G Esports. This is what we're talking about. The Gen.G Esports wants to take it another step further. From dark horse to contender, now they're one of the strongest teams that has a target painted on their back. Now they're back for vengeance. And FUT Esports is the one on the line right now.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Arya is capitalizing all the shields that she's absorbing here from FUT Esports. She will get away. Deathless as well here for Gen.G Esports. Lord will actually be able to pop up those holy shields. Let's see. Okay, it's going to set foot. That indeed is a great advantage now for Gen.G Esports. Now they slowly transition onto getting a turret. A great move and discipline action here for them.
Yep, I need to see Gen.G really press the advantage here. They know for a fact that Nora doesn't have the fatal link, so they go for it!
Oh, Ashley yet again with a powerful set of a Minnow Fury. FUT Esports on the other hand, scrambling to get onto a kill. Shutdown here for Kujo. But on the other hand, it's going to be a trade-off all for her life. Rui onto the base. They still have a way to go, and that is onto the walls, jumping out and down here for Gen.G Esports. That is too much to handle here for FUT.
And that's the clip, especially for Ashley, for the argument for the mother of tanks. Truly, literally tanking the turrets. They're looking for a second one. And Rui, once again, thanks to the help of her team, able to dodge everything. Can she make it out with 1 HP?
She can.
Does.
Okay.
Oh, just a simple breather, and just notice that FUT. They're not happy that Gen.G knocked on their door, broke at least one of the doorknobs, and said, "Hey, we're not going to pay for this. We're walking away."
That took a lot of guts as well for Gen.G Esports. They have the confidence, they have the skills to back it up. It's all about making the noise with their actions as well. Very swaggy move for Rui as well. So I think the trade-off was really worth it. I was actually concerned because so far here for Gen.G Esports, for the longest time, I've seen them more of kind of like capitalizing on counter punishments. And now they're the ones leading the charge. All throughout the round, I've mentioned on the 6-minute mark that it was more of a balanced type of game compared to the games that we've casted. But now, heading on to the 13th-minute mark, now we see the dominance being asserted by Gen.G Esports. Now we see them being the top dogs against FUT.
And I think a lot of it just comes down to the fact that Arya has been absolutely crushing it. Look at that difference, 8.3K to 5.5 on the opposite side against Unohana. And to be fair, there were a lot of ganks towards Unohana's lane in a losing matchup in itself. So 3-level difference is not too surprising in this current state. But Mako finally getting that third item, some relevant damage. Not enough to take out Arya, but definitely definitely Ruyi and Sayori. They got to be careful if they fall into the Xayman Force.
And as well as she's really maximizing this low CD cooldown here
She is.
for the ultimate. So that is another additional for Gen.G Esports. We talked about this on the panel that even our experts are expecting the Esmeralda to really top off the charts after the Paquito Lapuan from the wildcard. Now we're back on an Esmeralda yet again. Now for FUT Esports, there is somewhat of a way to actually come back from this deficit.
Away?
I think.
What's the theory here? What's the theory here before the Lord makes it to the inhibitors?
I just think that Kujo and Nora just needs wonderful connection when it comes to Fatal Links and the spatial migration value for him. And Miko, as long as she doesn't get killed, could actually get 2 to 3 members from Gen.G Esports. But that is just wishful thinking on my part.
That's not just wishful. That's hyper optimism as they're knocking on this door, ready to finish the job. They're going to break open the first inhibitor here, but let's see. That Fatal Links could be a make it or break it.
Yep, let's see. They could ask for the turret for help as well, but now the Lord, they have to melt this out as fast as possible. It's Arya yet again onto the front lines. That is what we're talking about. Ashley with an Fury, good job down. The connection isn't there. They're slowly capitalizing onto the moving every single member here for FUT Esports. Ashley is a sacrifice, but I think it's going to be enough for Gen.G Esports to actually finish off this round. Panda 1 focus round to the tower, and that's it for game number 1 win for Gen.G.
Woo, that was one hell of a game. Cool, calm, calculated, but most importantly, it never felt out of control for Gen.G. Yes, mistakes happen, but it is not the end of the world, and you can see it on all of their faces. They're like, all right, no big deal. We can recover. We're going to hit them so much harder in the next